This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is a lovely little pop culture campfire that we call The Meltdown. We're here with you Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, and we are absolutely thrilled to be back here in the Culver studio, bringing you the latest edition of The Meltdown. Joining me here in studio would be everybody's favorite trench coat wearing Russian spy, allegedly,
Not confirmed.
EG that's with us. EG,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm wonderful. It's a very exciting day to be in America. Hockey game tonight.
You very rarely are disgusted by me, but today when you asked me of whether or not I was going to be watching this hockey game and I said no,
Yeah,
you were very disgusted with me. You almost treated me as if I was anti-American, which I'm not.
slightly. My nose did go up in the air as a level of indignation came over me as I realized that you would not be watching the United States take down, hopefully, Canada tonight.
I've never thought of you as a hockey snob because I actually am a hockey fan. And then you're going to chastise me that I'm not a big enough hockey fan on a day where you're, I don't know, spending the first day and probably forever actually watching a hockey game.
Oh, for sure. I don't watch hockey. I just love the United States.
Okay. It is amazing how people just sort of take you at face value for being whatever you want to be on a given day. Like that's exactly what a Russian spy would be able to do. That's all I'm saying. You've been called worse, though. We're going to get into that here in just a second. We also have everybody's favorite lovable boy wonder here on the show, the other half of the meltdown, Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, tonight's the monkey, my friend.
Oh, yes.
I am actually, the closer we're getting to showtime, the more excited I'm getting. I think
Yeah.
we could walk out of this thing really happy for once this year.
Oh, yeah, we could. It's got a lot of ingredients that could really work to make a delicious soup.
Oh, what?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying.
I do. Like,
Okay.
I want to be dining like Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. I just want to be monkey brains in it
yeah.
up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do think this has the chance to be really good. Get some wacky Final Destination style deaths, a little bit of dark comedy here and there. We get to see Elijah Wood as well. Don't know about you, Tim, but I love Elijah Wood, whether it's in Lord of the Rings or in something wackier like the FX show Wilfred
So
or this.
Elijah Wood is in this movie?
Yes.
I honestly did not know that. It doesn't ruin it at all for me or anything. I didn't know that. I knew Theo James is in the
Theo
movie.
James is the
Yeah.
lead, but Elijah Wood is also in
Well,
it.
Okay, interesting. Well, that actually heightens it for me. I really thought Elijah Wood was great in Sin City. I know not
Yeah.
not a ton of people talk about that performance, but I
I-
actually thought it was really creepy.
I actually like Sin City.
You do too?
A lot of people dunk on it.
No, I like it. The second one,
Not a Dame to Kill For.
Aim to Kill For is rough. There's a big poker game in that movie, by
Okay.
the way, and the big bad guy gets beat in a poker game by his son,
oh,
played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
okay.
and he just pulls out the gun and just blows him away
Oh, wow.
after he has been defeated. He shoots the other guy, and it's awful.
Yikes.
It's like, oh my gosh, and there's just no narrative satisfaction to that movie.
No.
Anyway, Sin City 2, not a movie I thought we'd be talking about today. Probably going to pull it out of a mystery box sometime very soon. But there's something else worth talking about today.
The
Yes.
monkey popcorn box. I'm so excited about that. I couldn't even say it correctly.
Oh,
I've actually tried to tell Tyler, like, we don't have to have that one. It's beautiful. I think you're right, but I hate that you are, potentially going to be begging on the streets after purchasing all these popcorn boxes because there's a lot of them that come out that look really sleek. You got the Nosferatu, which is behind EG there. You've got the Warhammer.
Yeah.
From
Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim.
Correct. Over here, I'm not sure anybody can see it, but we've got the Deadpool and Wolverine, the Wolverine bucket, as well as the Dune popcorn bucket, which is up top. Nobody can see those. It's fine. You've seen enough of them. The monkey popcorn bucket looks amazing. It really does.
It
But
really
I just
does.
don't want you to feel forced to have to collect it. I mean,
So it's not really being forced. if I'm skipping some too. Because like Captain America had 2 different popcorn buckets
Did.
last week. It had a helmet one and a collapsible shield one.
Mhm.
I didn't think either one of those looked particularly good. So I said no thank you. I want the weird ones and just the ones that make you go, "What? That is a popcorn bucket? You that holds popcorn?" Like the coffin or the Warhammer behind EG.
Yeah.
Like you would never think that those are popcorn buckets.
Sarcophagus is what we call it.
Yeah, sarcophagus.
Um,
Proper term.
exactly. So I thought it was really sad. A week ago, Anthony Mackie went to the Downtown Disney or the Disney Springs AMC to surprise a group of people who were going to see Captain America Brave New World. And he had one of the popcorn buckets in his hand and he was walking down the steps and waving to everybody. And it was a nice gesture. And the faults of the movie, I don't blame on Anthony Mackie, but the seats were not full. And I feel like if you're going to be in a
What?
situation where
Did
you're
they not have seat fillers? Like that's what they do for every award show. And
there were a lot of
anytime
gaps.
you know that there's going to be seats on TV, you fill them.
Well,
That's what they do for Jimmy Fallon. You think he sells out every episode? No.
no. I mean, the tickets are free.
Yes, exactly.
Right. I just think it was supposed to be like a nice viral moment of like he surprises the packed house on opening night and all that, but
Ugh,
the seats weren't all full, and I just
I
that
hate
that made me uncomfortable.
yeah. Second
And
embarrassment.
our buddy Hunter, we're going to the movies tonight. He's going to see Captain America for the first time, even though we've warned him against it, and he has his pick of the litter of seats because people
one's
aren't really
there.
going to see this in week 2. Anyway, here's what I've really been trying to get to for the past 10 minutes, and that is today is Tyler's birthday. Happy birthday, Tyler.
Oh.
Happy birthday. Everybody in the chat, wish Tyler a happy birthday, okay? He lives off of your love and adulation there in the chat, especially on birthdays. How old now?
26.
No. You don't look a day over 16.
Agreed.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It'll serve you well in the future, kid.
Yeah.
You're younger than him.
I'm older than you, EG.
You're weird, EG. You got a little bit of a weird. That sounds like something that somebody would say after having gone to a sock hop or something. I don't know. But anyway,
I mean, it was like she hit me with the Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah.
1000%. It's the coat. The coat changes. The coat changes everything that EG says. The connotation of it, everything sounds different in the coat. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, EG,
Yes.
you just called Tyler kid.
I did.
You've been called, what were you called? A blowfish? What were you
No,
called? Sea
sea
monster. Sea beast.
Yeah,
You teased us with this about, I don't know, 2 minutes before we went on air.
I did.
What-
You-
What's the story?
So this morning, I was with our friends on SEC Network Radio. I go join them every week, and basically, altercations got brought up and stadium altercations, and they asked me if I've ever been in an altercation, and I said, "Well, once. I'm 1-0. When I was a young sapling blooming into this world, I was about 2nd or 3rd grade. I was cruising around the neighborhood on bikes, and my brother was with me, and we had this neighborhood tyrant. His name is Devin. I could say his last name. I don't want to dox him though. And he was just awful.
Stop. Camera on me. EG never forgets an enemy. And
No.
that's a warning to all of you out there. Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
She's
continue.
got a list in the top drawer of her desk, and she's not afraid to pull it out and check it.
Worse than that. Anyways, yes, so Devin, he was just a menace. Actually, at one of the sock hops I attended, he hid underneath benches and would grab people's ankles.
Do wish his name was Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace.
That would be so much
Yeah,
better.
no,
Devin the Menace.
Devin.
Eh,
And so,
Devin the
anyways,
devil. I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean,
I'm trying.
he was to that caliber. And he, speeds up to me while I'm cruising the neighborhood with my brother, and he yells out, "Sea beast. You're a sea beast." I don't know if I was wearing blue that day. I'm not exactly sure. But this moniker, he'd kind of called me it a few times, and I was over it. And so we corner him, me and Jake. And I'll never forget this.
Wait. You and another kid cornered this
My
kid?
brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got your brother and you jumped him.
Basically.
Yeah, okay.
And so I turn to Jake and I say, "Can I hit him?" And he says, "Yes." And so I punched him. It was a square punch. He rode off on his bike crying, and it was never an issue again. And that was that.
So your moral of the story for all the kids watching is
Sometimes you need to get your brother involved, and sometimes if you hit someone hard enough, they won't use their words against you anymore.
so y'all circled around this kid like literal sea beasts?
Yeah, I know. That was what was interesting because I still don't understand why he called me Sea Beast, but I shared this story in college, and one of my good college friends, she still calls me Sea Beast to this day.
Hmm.
She's like, "Hey, Sea Beast, what's up?" She thought it was hilarious. Um,
I mean, I would say, like, let's start calling EG Sea Beast on the show, but I'm afraid to.
Listen, it's a great story now, and again, like I said, I'm 1-0. He was never an issue again, and Devin, still remember that. So if we cross paths, it's not over.
All right. In my opinion, I don't know why I feel like Devin never aged. I feel like he's still like 8 years old and you're gonna go punch him out. And I just imagine you like the end scene of Step Brothers, you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about? And it's just like the three of us on a playground taking on a bunch of Devins.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is happening right now. Anyway, this show is crazy. You never know what we're gonna talk about.
No.
That can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. I think today it's been a good thing. So
True.
thank you. Now you do have a fascination with sharks.
I do. I love sharks. Me and Lance, we share a love of.
That's my favorite animal as well.
What's your favorite animal?
Mhm.
I mean, I knew you love Jaws, of course.
Yeah.
I did not realize it was your favorite animal.
Sharks are my favorite animal.
Which species?
Great white.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that because of Jaws?
That's a big, huge chunk of it, yes.
Nice chunk of it. Like it. Do you follow Shark Week come July?
I am more like catch the highlights on YouTube kind of guy.
Okay.
I don't like lock down on the Discovery Channel. And
Would you shark cage dive?
heck no.
Really?
Heck no.
On the bucket list.
EG, I couldn't open a 4K without it breaking yesterday. I would think that the door would something would happen. It would be bad.
You wouldn't get in even in the cage.
Could you fit in the cage?
Hold on. Imagine a 7-foot giant in a wetsuit not looking like a seal. Okay? I would look more like seal.
That would look like a tasty seal for a shark.
I would look more like a seal than Seal in the Seal Super Bowl trailer. That's how I would
Yeah.
look like a super
Seal.
delicious seal.
Yeah.
Plus, I'd probably be
With a kiss from a lime.
correct. I'd be flopping around, probably all terrified. No, I don't. I don't want to swim with sharks.
I'm
You
like,
want to? You're
I-
weird.
Yeah, I mean, or yeah, I would love to. There's a place off the coast of Australia. That's where you're supposed to get the best, sights and sounds and scenes of the
Yeah,
sharks,
There's only so many things in Australia that'll kill you on land. Might as well go to the sea as well.
right? And if the sharks don't get you, a jellyfish will.
No, and I know I'd cut myself by accident, like with a box cutter, trying to open up some.
Have you been stung by a jellyfish? Either of you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It was so bad. I was surfing in Hilton Head, which not good surfing waves, and the water's also murky, so not good. And I literally thought that like a scuba diver, this is my thought in middle school, that a scuba diver had stabbed me in the leg. That was my first thought. Then I realized, oh wait, I just got stung by a jellyfish.
It was Devin back
There's
from back for his revenge. I've waited all these years. I grew an underground base for this moment.
After that story, I was just imagining EG in Point Break. She's just robbing the bank and then goes surfing.
Yeah,
I do like to surf.
yeah. EG likes the Point Break remake, I believe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's a horrible film take. But I appreciate you being honest about it.
nothing if not honest.
That is true. Except for the fact that sometimes you're not. Okay.
Occasionally.
But it helps you in poker.
Yes.
Let's go to our main story today. And it is a pretty big bombshell in the Hollywood circles because the most, probably the longest running franchise of all time, James Bond. I mean, has to be, right? I mean, at least longest running film franchise.
I would think so.
Am I right? I'm sure there's a technicality. I'm sure it's like, well,
I mean, depends on how loose you want to be with franchise, because you could be like, oh, the Dracula movies have been going on longer than that, but
yeah. But I guess, in some sort of consistent measure
Yeah.
to where every decade we've gotten a release or every few years we get a release. But anyway, I'm a big James Bond fan. I don't know exactly where you guys are on your James Bond fandom or, if there's a movie that you remember watching at a maybe a younger age that stuck with you? Or, I mean, where do you guys stand on the James Bond franchise?
I've just always loved spies, and
Okay.
again, this is not helping me, but, like, Get Smart, my dad got me the box set of Get Smart, the old show, and I used to watch that. I loved it. And James Bond, as I got older, my dad and brothers were interested in it. It's like 007, and then the Adele soundtrack, what is that, Skyfall?
Skyfall, yeah.
And so I've always loved it. Again, I love the spy that was, like, my favorite game to play when I was little, the spies.
I love how it's like historical. It's always sort of paying respects to the past and what
Yeah.
got it there, but it's always trying to introduce something fresh and new
Yeah.
with every entry. Sometimes it fails miserably and sometimes it just blows you away. I remember seeing Casino Royale in 2006 and it just absolutely floored me how much I love that movie right from the
Yeah.
get. Right from the beginning. Have you seen Casino Royale?
Not.
You
I
need to.
I need to.
And the reason is because it's spies and it's poker.
I mean,
And it's a romance.
It's the best James Bond movie I've seen.
okay, then I need to see it.
You would, I think, genuinely enjoy it. And
Watch it on the plane this week.
poker stuff, I mean, I feel like Molly's Game, if it's the best poker
Yeah.
movie, Casino Royale is my second favorite poker.
Okay, I have to watch it.
So
I'm sold.
I think you'd love it.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, really love the Daniel Craig run overall. I thought there were a couple misfires in there. Quantum of Solace is pretty bad.
That one's rough. That one is why I still haven't seen Skyfall, just because Quantum of Solace was so bad, and then I dropped the series pretty much, and then you've been recommending me Skyfall since we started.
Skyfall's amazing. It bounces back very well. And in Quantum of Solace, there's a couple issues. One is there was a writer's strike going on at the time they were making it, so the script is absolute garbage. The second thing is there's a sequence where James Bond is on like a dock, and behind him there's a guy that's supposed to be sweeping the ground, and he's not making any contact with the ground.
Oh,
He's just back there going through the motion like fake sweeping.
no. Is
I
he a
mean,
bad guy?
well, no, he's just a random sweeper
Oh, I
on the
thought
street.
he would, like, take out the handle and
No, there's a bunch of extras in the background, and this guy's supposed to be sweeping, and he's just like sweeping the air, and it's just like,
what are you doing?
what? I just want to know, like, what preempted him? Like, what direction did he hear?
Yeah.
To where it's like, we want you to sweep, but just don't really sweep. Like, I want to know where in his mind he thought that was a good idea.
Was he oversweeping to begin with, and they had to cut him back?
I don't know, but he was not making contact with the ground. If you see the clip, have you ever seen the clip?
Yeah.
I mean,
wanna
if you ever
see
seen the
it.
clip, he's just like air sweeping. It makes no sense. But anyway, Quantum of Solace is not great. However, that movie features a bunch of Ford Edges, and my wife has
Oh.
had a Ford Edge for like her past 3 cars. She's had a Ford Edge, so there's a special place in my heart for that movie. Sort of introduced the Ford Edge to everybody. But then Skyfall's amazing, and then Spectre is my least favorite. I hate Spectre. There's a lot of things I hate about that movie. And then it ended on a relative safe high note with No Time to Die. I thought it was perfectly fine as a great way to sort of close things out. And that's where we've left the Daniel Craig saga, and he officially stepped away from the role. And that was back in 2021. We got the last James Bond movie. And there's been all kinds of speculation since then about what the future of the franchise is going to be and who the next James Bond is going to be. Do you remember who
We had actually reported months ago. I guess this would be nearly a year ago now. That Aaron Taylor Johnson had the job because I believe it was Variety that
it was actually Sun. It was the
the
Sun
Sun from
newspaper.
the Sun from Great Britain.
Mhm.
They had reported that Aaron Taylor Johnson had the job, and so we parroted that.
Everybody did.
Everyone did because it sounded legit.
Well, we never went with it's a done deal. We went with it's said it's going to. The Sun reported it's going to be a done deal soon. They're finalizing
okay.
negotiations. They're finalizing in their negotiations, making him the next Bond. Well, then he's had miss after miss after miss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then-
because right during that whole conversation, was it Fall Guy came out?
Mhm.
He was in that.
I
He
didn't
was
like that.
absolutely awful.
He was.
I
He
did
was
not like that one.
awful in that. There were plenty of problems with that movie, but he is most definitely the worst part. And then late last year, Craven the Hunter finally came out, and then that's just an absolutely abysmal movie that shouldn't have ever existed.
I keep getting ads for that on my TV, and I'm like, no, I know better because of the Meltdown.
I have always wanted to pull the trigger on the box sets of James
Bond?
Bond because they have the entire collection of movies there in a nice package. But I've not done it because I always am like, they're gonna make another
more.
one, and then they're gonna release a better box set.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the sucker who got the, every movie on DVD guy when I want the premium
Collection.
experience. But also, I don't expect James Bond's going to be fading away anytime soon. The big reason James Bond is in the headlines right now is because Amazon now has creative control over James Bond.
So I have a question with this. Does that mean that it'll be streaming on Amazon? It won't be a in-theater experience?
So if I had to put money on it, it will still be a theatrical
Okay,
experience.
good.
Okay? They're still
Okay.
going to release James Bond movies in the theater. I do not think they're going to just throw it on Prime to start.
Okay.
Now, there was talk. I don't know if this newest resolution or newest update uh, brings any sort of answer to it, though. But originally, during the whole dispute over the character, they were toying around with the idea of starting Prime series based around like different characters in James Bond and expanding that world, like having a Q show and everything else.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think they will do that.
Okay,
2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the main theatrical films will still exist.
gotcha.
Okay.
But Amazon didn't buy up MGM to not have James Bond at their beck and call. Here's the problem that I see,
Okay.
and it has to do with Star Wars
Oh.
because Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Mhm.
Within Lucasfilm, they got Star Wars. Within Lucasfilm, they got Indiana Jones, and they have run those properties into the ground for the most part. Now, there are still Disney loyalists that will defend the current state of Disney Star Wars, but like I told you, 2021 was the last time we got a James Bond movie. 2019 was the last time we got a Star Wars movie.
Wow.
We've got a bunch of television series since then. Most of them have been poor in their presentation. I'm still recovering from this Acolyte show. But I worry when a company that has been distributing films and a
Mhm.
company that is there to make money off of films then becomes the lead on creative. There's a fear that it's not going to be very good or it's not going to be executed well.
Okay.
And I would not be surprised at all if the first James Bond movie out of the gate is a huge home run. Everybody's all about it. It's crazy good. It's super successful. People are just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then after that, they don't have a plan because that's exactly what happened with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars is back. When Force Awakens came out in 2015, they had no plan of where to take things from there. They were just riding the high of that. Rogue One, as much as people love it, it was just plagued with all kinds of creative issues and it ended up turning out okay. I mean, it's better than okay.
Yeah.
Rogue One is actually very good, but it was kind of looked at as like a creative mess that just happened to work out. And then everything became a creative mess. The Solo movie was they had to bring Ron Howard in at the last minute to help save that movie because they said that it felt like a Jim Carrey comedy when they were looking at the
That's
test
awful.
the test footage and what they had been able to capture so far with the film and how it was being pieced together. Just it felt completely the tone was completely off. I mean, there's been all kinds of hirings and firings within the Star Wars universe, and I do not want to see that happen with another one of my favorite franchises ever in James Bond because Amazon has tons of resources and tons of money. Now, I'm going to get into what I think could be the biggest home run positive of this. Hear me out, everybody.
I'm listening. Tuned in.
My favorite director working today is Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
No.
Christopher Nolan has always wanted to do a Bond movie.
So this could be his chance.
Now that Amazon has full control over the creative future of James Bond, it reopens negotiations, which have already sort of petered out with, the Broccoli's and trying to have Christopher Nolan pitch that he needs full creative control. Think of it this way, E.G.
Okay.
Nick Saban,
Yep.
he came to Alabama.
Yep.
What did he need to be successful?
Winning.
Well, he definitely needed to win to be successful in the public's eye. but he needed control to be able to win. He needed to have control over the program.
Yeah.
A lot of people would suggest that he maybe left the program because NIL changed the way that he could control the program.
It could be argued, yes.
That could be argued. Christopher Nolan is the type of person that has to have control in order to be able to execute his vision. Warner Brothers gave him that with Batman, and he produced one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Okay.
But Warner Brothers said, we believe in you. You do Batman your way. And he made them a ton of money, and he made himself a very successful career of, I do a Batman movie, then I get to do a movie that I want to do. I get to do another Batman movie, then I get to do another movie I want to do. Then I do a Batman movie, then I get to do another movie. It's one for me, one for you. One for me, one for you.
Okay.
One for the studio, one for me.
Correct. And they all made money.
Mhm.
That was the thing. They all made money. So Nolan, commercially and creatively, just all those things aligned, and he's right now the most in-demand filmmaker on the planet.
Which is wild because normally the one for the studio, one for me strategy results in one very commercially successful project and one sort of more indie style art house type
Correct.
deal. And it's not to say Nolan doesn't do artsy films, but the ones he does make a lot of money.
They do, except for Tenet, which
that was also the release was botched, and that also strained the relationship between Nolan and the brothers Warner.
Correct. If COVID doesn't hit, Nolan is probably still at Warner Brothers today. But COVID hits, Tenet is set to be released. They talk about they're going to release it day and date on Max. Nolan is livid because he's a big fan of the things that I'm a big fan of. Theater releases and physical media releases. He hates streaming for the most part. I mean, Netflix backed up the Brinks truck to Nolan, and he said no thanks.
Wow.
He has a soul.
He would have had full creative control, and it was probably the biggest offer that he got from anybody because Netflix was like, oh man, if we can land Nolan and get his stuff here. But they couldn't quite figure. I don't think Nolan is a big fan of Netflix because he stands against everything that he stands for and champions in media. So Universal comes in and says, hey, we'll give you a ton of money and creative control, and we'll let you have even like Final Cut over trailers. We'll let you, we're living in your world, buddy. Come on over. And he produced Oppenheimer.
Oh, wow.
Which was a movie that is a historical drama. It's a tough sell on paper. Historical drama.
It's a historical drama, not about anyone that you probably already know of. This isn't like a story of General Patton during the war or anything. This isn't a story of Winston Churchill. Exactly. Yeah. This is a nerd who works on physics all day, every day, but then ends up creating the most deadly weapon known to mankind.
Correct. With almost, I would say, really, actually, no action sequences in the movie. There's one scene of bright colors, but there's no real action sequences in the movie. It's amazing. Watch Casino Royale first.
I love the sound design during the Trinity test scene.
I do too. Some people don't.
But
he took that movie, and he not only got $1 billion, basically $970 million or whatever worldwide. Then he won the Academy Award for Best Picture and Best Director and Best Actor. I'm sure more than that.
And Robert Downey Jr. did he not win? For
Robert Downey Jr. won for Best Supporting Actor, and it won for Best Score, I believe.
That sounds about right.
I want to say there's even more in there. Tell me how many Academy Awards Oppenheimer won. But you want to talk about a success.
Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Original Score, Best Supporting Actor, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and Best Sound.
It won all of those?
Yes.
Okay. That's incredible.
Cleaned house.
Oppenheimer is my favorite movie of the past 5 years. I was asked this question in-house, like, what's your favorite movie of the past 5 years? Oppenheimer is the answer. But anyway, he's just agreed with Universal to continue their relationship. He also didn't want to sign a long-term deal. A lot of athletes do this, a lot of coaches do this, so that way they have the flexibility. If they know they're really good, they can kind of control their own future. So he was doing a movie-by-movie deal, and because he didn't want to be stuck in a situation where he's in a bad marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he'd been in that in Warner Brothers. By the way, they put Barbie on that date for a reason, to try to stick it to Oppenheimer and Christopher Nolan and it ended up working out for both.
I think the best part of that story is Warner Brothers sending Nolan, what was it, a 7 or 8 figure check, just something stupid,
Yeah, it
and
was money for Tenet.
yeah, and trying to, like, smooth things over. It's like, "Alright, come back to us. We'll treat you better this time." He cashes the check and says, "No, thank you. I'm good."
Yep, yep.
Amazing.
Warner Brothers wants him back bad. Not gonna happen. That's a breakup that's probably pretty permanent. So all I'm saying is that after he makes this movie about the Odyssey, he is going to have an opportunity to potentially develop a James Bond movie again because Amazon wants him. I mean, everybody wants him. And this may be the window to get Nolan in front of the Bond franchise. And if there's anything we know, it's that I think Nolan can cast a complete nobody or cast
Well,
one of
right now,
his
he's casting just all somebodies,
Mhm.
all that person for the Odyssey.
Every single person wants to be a part of a Nolan movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's the most stacked cast I've seen maybe in any production ever. But could he be the one that helms James Bond? Everyone's going to talk about. You're going to see this with every other channel you go to about who's going to be the next Bond. Amazon has the creative control, but they can give that creative control to anybody they want. And if they give it to Nolan, they win, in my opinion, because Nolan has the commercial success, he has the faith, he has the trust. It markets itself because audiences know when they buy a ticket to a Christopher Nolan movie, they're going to have not only spectacle, but they're going to have emotion as well.
Mhm.
And it's a perfect blend. And anytime a Nolan movie comes out, all they have to
You
do,
don't even have to cut a trailer, to be
you
honest.
don't.
You can just have a black screen that says "New Christopher Nolan movie," the name, release date, and rating. Call it a day.
There are very few directors that have that clout, and Nolan is at the very top. They don't have to do a lot to sell tickets
I mean,
because he's hit and hit and hit again. Tenet is the only misfire, but it got buried because of COVID.
mhm.
So it got buried.
Here is everybody confirmed to be a part of the Odyssey so far. You got Tom Holland,
Ooh, love.
aka Spider-Man. You got Zendaya. You got Mia Goth from Maxine. You got Elliot Page, Anne Hathaway. So you might actually go see this
I
movie.
might. I might.
John Bernthal, Charlize Theron, Benny Safdie, John Leguizamo, Samantha Morton, not sure who that is, Lupita Nyong'o, and that's all I'm seeing right now.
Did you mention Matt Damon?
Oh, Matt Damon, yes, he's Odysseus.
Yeah, they released a photo of him in
Yeah,
costume this past week, or actually it was earlier this week, and
what'd
I,
you think?
I thought it looked pretty good. But
Yeah.
once again, don't know
Are,
anything else other than what I've seen. Just that one little image.
are you a big fan of the Odyssey?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but that gives me even more of a reason to dive deep into it and potentially become a big fan. So, but I'd be really excited if they announced 007 was in the hands of Christopher Nolan because Amazon is the one that actually took control and then handed it to him. Everyone's going to be talking about who's the next Bond, who's the next Bond. To me, that's obsolete. I want to know who's in control of the next Bond and its creative future. Right now, it's Amazon, but Amazon is a nameless, faceless sort of entity that has the power and control and the money and the finances. Question is, who are they going to bring in to be in charge of this thing and see the vision of the story through? Star Wars did that with J.J. Abrams. They then handed it over to Ryan Johnson. It didn't work out. They tried J.J. Abrams tried to take it back, didn't work out. They can't do that with Bond. We're going to see who they put in charge of this, but it's going to be very interesting for sure. As you have Mike Hopkins, head of Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios, saying in a statement today, quote, "We are grateful to the late Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman for bringing James Bond to movie theaters around the world, and to Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli for their unyielding dedication in their role in continuing the legacy of the franchise that is cherished by legions of fans worldwide. We are honored to continue this treasured heritage and look forward to ushering in the next phase of the legendary 007 for audiences around the world." So we'll see what happens. No Time to Die made $775 million. And once again, no announcements of when the next thing is that we should expect there. Did I say something stupid or something?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Every time we talk about Amazon and James Bond, I just giggle a little inside because of Barbara Broccoli.
Yeah.
What a wacky name.
Well,
Yeah,
it
the
is.
broccolis. That's crazy.
She's been great, though. I mean, she really has. She said in a quote, "My life has been dedicated to maintaining and building upon the extraordinary legacy that was handed to Michael and me by our father, producer Cubby Broccoli. I've had the honor of working closely with four of the tremendously talented actors who've played 007 and thousands of wonderful artists within the industry. With the conclusion of No Time to Die and Michael retiring from the films, I feel like it is time to focus on my other projects." This doesn't sound like the happiest of passing of the torches. It's got to be tough. I mean, this has been your life. This has been your identity. This has been like one of your children, even. And to hand that over to a big studio, probably for a lot of money, having no control really over the future of it, it's got to be tough for sure. All right. I want to tell everybody to take control of their dental health. And there's one way to do that. Alabama Dental Associates over there on Grants Mill Road. Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, Dr. Nolan. We've been talking a lot of Nolan here on the show so far. Dr. Nolan's over there at Alabama Dental Associates, and they have you covered when it comes to, I don't know, taking care of that nagging toothache, or maybe you need to go ahead and get on top of those regular cleanings. They are there for you on Grants Mill Road. Make sure you go visit them, as I'll be headed there next week. Looking very forward to my appointment coming up over at Alabama Dental Associates. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, here we go. 10 with Tim. It is time. We're going to rush through this.
Okay.
Question number one, E.G., what is the best thing about February weather?
You get kind of cozy days where it's cold outside and you could stay inside.
Is that why you have disgust on your face?
Yeah,
Okay, not a fan. You're a summer person.
I am.
Tyler, what's the best thing about February weather?
I love the cold.
I drove in the snow today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning, I stepped outside and it was snowing. I was just like, "Oh, this is great. I love it."
Happy birthday.
Like
Snow
2 weeks
day.
ago, it was in the 80s
Yes.
or
Awesome.
70s,
I
high
mean,
70s.
that's the side I don't like. I like when it's just cold all month.
Yeah. By the way, Saber in the chat. Okay, Tim, if Nolan says no, who's the next? Ask. Oh, it's a great question. I'm gonna have to think about that. I almost think that could be a meltdown countdown by itself, but I'll have to think about that. All right, question number 2. Other than a car, what's something you've recently purchased used, Tyler, that you really like?
Um, let's see. Oh, yeah. I got another purchase in from some Japanese collectors a couple weeks ago. Um, got some Japanese denim from that were done in collaboration with Evangelion, one of my favorite anime. I was wearing them yesterday. It's got some nice embroidery all over it, and yeah, it's just a solid, good pair of denim, and they were marked as secondhand, even though they're pretty much brand new.
Yeah,
So I washed them and threw them on.
there you go.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm holding
EG?
it.
Oh, okay. What makes this special?
Chanel. Chanel wallet, also from Japanese eBay. I want to show you my cards. It's beautiful. I love it.
I agree. It's very nice if I was to have one of those things or understand what it was that made that special. But yes, I'm not hating or anything.
Yeah, no,
I'm clueless to any of that.
totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, would you rather EG be super famous for playing the piano or super famous for playing pickleball?
Pickleball.
No brainer?
No brainer.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you would rather play pickleball for a living than play the piano for a living.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about you're really good at both. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a question of talent.
Yeah,
It's,
no, like I would totally want to dominate the pickleball space.
I believe you. Okay. Um, Tyler, which one of those two would you rather be more known for?
I'm gonna go piano, but I wouldn't play like classical music. I do like a whole like Bugs Bunny routine, like as a conductor.
Okay. I'm glad this isn't a ranked game for either one of you based on your past answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I don't know. Aren't they making a pickleball series?
Ben Stiller just finished filming his pickleball movie. And no, sorry to disappoint everyone who is just now finding out about this. This is not attached to the Dodgeball movie in any way, shape, or form. It is a former tennis star who's like taking up pickleball now or something like
I
that.
love
It's
pickleball.
called the Dink.
It's addicting.
I have not played pickleball yet.
I haven't either.
But
Dink is a term in pickleball. A dink.
I've seen it in like there's a video I came across where it was a dude who's like, this is how I make money. He just fakes being a pickleball coach and he just keeps screaming, you gotta dink it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know what
love it. I
means.
mean, it is addicting. I enjoy tennis, but I enjoy pickleball way more.
okay. Well, good to know. I have not played pickleball yet, but I think I would be a dominant pickleball athlete.
I got into it during COVID, tennis and pickleball.
What was the first thing you said? What in pickleball?
Tennis.
Oh, I thought you said Tennessee pickleball. I'm like, what is Tennessee pickleball?
No.
That sounds way more
That
intense.
does sound intense.
Fighting over some moonshine or something.
Mhm.
Okay, we go to this. What is a thing on TV that you saw and you felt was disturbing, e.g.?
Oh,
Could be anything.
gosh. Any horror movie ever. Oh, actually, it was the Bonnie Blue thing that was going around, and I came across on like my Amazon Fire Stick that she's pregnant. It's a little disturbing.
That is extremely disturbing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Maury Povich's response to
Yeah.
that situation on Twitter?
No.
So he requote tweeted the article and he just says, I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this.
That's very
I'm
funny.
staying out
actually.
of this one.
The world misses Maury ever since he stepped away, and all we have now is the endless reruns. Okay, what's something you've seen on TV, Tyler, that has felt disturbing?
Um, Occasionally, I guess this is slightly different because it'll be like a YouTube ad, but I swear when I'm watching YouTube late at night, like if it's after midnight, I will get the strangest ads where it seems like borderline like cult recruitment
Oh my
ads.
gosh.
And then there's some where it's just completely in a foreign language and the ad is 90 minutes long. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that seems concerning.
I think
I-
I need to stop watching YouTube.
I certainly hope that you can skip those 90-minute long ads.
You can. It's just more like I'll have YouTube on like all the time, right? So I'll click on a video and then I'll go use the restroom or whatever, and then I'll be coming back and it'll be on something, and it's just like, what is this?
Not to pry, but what cult are they trying to lure you to?
I don't know. It said something about like protecting your people and with honor and all sorts of
The
I was just
army?
watching it in like confusion. I don't know what they
Awesome.
were asking, but it seemed like it was gonna lead to drinking some Kool-Aid.
Okay,
Mm.
let's not do that.
Please.
Let's go to this next question, though. What's something, e.g., you're personally looking very forward to?
Well, that's easy answer. I'm going skiing in Banff in 2 days.
Oh my gosh, a lot of people go, what's a BAMF? Is that sort of like an animal from the Star Wars universe? No, it's not.
No, it's a place, Canada. Really hoping USA pulls out the win tonight. Also in regards to this trip.
Well, I mean, e.g., the world's biggest hockey fan will be glued to the set.
I will.
Keep me posted.
I will.
Tyler, what's something you're personally looking very forward to?
Looking forward to the monkey tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Tyler.
Yeah. Also quick chat check-in. Charles says about the weird commercials. He says some are absolutely AI and long as hell they are weird. So thank you, Charles, for knowing what I'm talking about. 'Cause I sound crazy right now.
You and Charles on
Being
the same
only
algorithm.
person who has seen this.
Yeah. Okay, next question here. Name something, Tyler, that smells really bad when it's burnt.
Oh, I know one off the top of my head.
Don't take it.
Not.
Don't take it away from her.
I'm not.
Uh,
What, you can't say it, or what is it? What's going on in your head right now?
no, ED just made me laugh. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with cigarettes. They smell terrible.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say broccoli.
I was not expecting that.
I was not
What
either.
do
I
you-
was
we're go-
expecting popcorn.
Oh,
Popcorn is another good answer. I was expecting your neighbor's apartment.
oh, yeah. My neighbors, but they're gone now.
They're gone now.
They're officially gone.
That's why you were laughing. Don't get it demonetized.
I'm not gonna get
Just stop talking.
demonetized. I'm not.
Yeah, I could have sworn that's the direction you were going in, EG.
Okay. Next question. You're muted. Next question. What features, Tyler, make for a great coat or jacket?
I'd say if you've got some like cargo style pockets with the big flap, I like large pockets.
Okay.
A lot of
Large
pockets.
pockets. A lot of
Yeah.
pockets where you can store all of your different cult-like material.
I mean, they keep giving me brochures. I
Yeah.
gotta put them somewhere.
Why do you have fishing line in your pocket? That's my fishing line pocket. Oh, okay. I just feel like that would be something that happens.
Yeah.
Like when I'm wearing my snow camo pants. Those things have like 12 pockets, so I can have like my phone, my wallet, my keys, my charger, a bottle of water, some
Oh my
snacks.
gosh. You
Join
hope you have a belt.
Join a militia.
Yeah.
E.g., what
Ahem.
makes for a great coat or jacket? What features?
Well, this one actually is fabulous. Let me tell you about it. So it cinches at the waist, which I love. So it has these little drawstrings right here. And for the ladies, you don't want to look, puffy when you're wearing a puffy jacket. The length of this is awesome because it goes quite literally down to my ankles, and my ankles get cold. Love that. Also, it has like a little sweatshirt material, so very cozy on top of the waterproof moment. The hood is flat. It's not like puffy in the back, which I appreciate, and full zip enclosure with buttons.
She called it waterproof moment.
Yeah, I heard it
And
too, but
you know what? It sounded completely natural.
it did. But one thing I have to point out, I like the sweatshirt cuff sleeve under the waterproof material because
Yeah.
when I wear jackets like that, I hate the feeling of nylon.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Jason Wu is the designer.
Next question. Is there a quote or speech, e.g., that inspires you?
Yes. The quote, well, yes, I have a few. The quote is from Kobe Bryant. It says, "The moment that you give up, you let someone else win." And I live by that.
Wow. That's really good and terrifying still. Devin. All right. Um, Tyler, is there a quote or speech that inspires you?
We were talking about this one the other day, but it is from Rocky 6, aka Rocky Balboa. I think it's some of the best dialogue in film ever. And it is the now let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. And he's like, you can either it ain't about how let me try this again.
I wish it had been in the movie that way. Let me tell you something, kid.
She's just trying to explain. It ain't about hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can. That's not all right. You knew it then, Tim.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have reacted. You missed a word. It ain't about hard you can hit.
I
That's what you
said
said.
how hard.
You said
I didn't
hard.
how. I didn't
Yeah,
hear how.
You just said about hard hit.
If you go back and watch it, I'm sorry, but I naturally reacted. I will not naturally react anymore. It was not a way to antagonize. Can you
All
just
right.
do it one more
Well,
time?
let's move on.
No, one more.
This is his birthday. We got to get this.
Okay.
We got to get
I
this right.
apologize.
Go, Tyler. I'm so sorry. Please.
Look it up on YouTube.
Oh, boo.
Oh
Tomato.
my gosh. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard. No, it ain't about how hard you can
Oh
hit.
yeah, it's not so easy, is it, Tim?
It wasn't my choice. It ain't how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
How much you can take and
I-
keep moving forward.
Clearly, none of us are inspired by that one.
We are. It's a very
I am.
inspirational
I
quote.
just have trouble talking.
Oh.
You did sound like Rocky from Rocky 5 instead of Rocky
Yeah,
6.
I'm the
Oh.
punch drunk, brain damaged Rocky
Right.
today.
Who miraculously heals. Okay, we go to this. Next question. What's something, Tyler, that's currently towards the top of your grocery shopping list? Something where you're like, oh, I need to pick this up.
I don't know. I barely get to go to the store. I feel like I'm just like running around all the time.
Well, what's something you need if you were to go to the store? What would be like towards the top of your list? That's nothing. You don't need anything. Water.
I don't know. I probably do need a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
No?
Well, let's start an Amazon wish list.
Yeah, for time.
We're gonna give you
Time.
some
Can
nutrients.
you get time at the grocery store? I'd love to have some of that every now and then.
Okay.
That,
Well, e.g.,
Yeah.
what is something towards the top of your grocery list? Time would not be one of those items
Yeah.
you can.
I need some more
ingest.
coffee pods. I'm down to one.
Yeah, I hate when
Yeah,
that happens. I had
the
to pick up some
Keurig.
coffee pods last weekend.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not, and honestly, I just go for the cheapest, whatever the cheapest house blend
Yeah,
is.
I always do a BOGO on coffee. I don't love the Keurig. I think I wanna upgrade to an espresso, but at the same time, honestly, my favorite is just a, like, coffee pot coffee.
Mm,
Yeah,
First world problems here.
totally.
Last question. E.g., what's a pet peeve that you had in a classroom setting? So back when you were a student, what is something that would get on your nerves or something that
Ugh,
had to be right
like,
to not frustrate you?
college was worse about this, like, the teachers' pets, and it's one of those things where it holds up the whole class because they have to, like, share their need of affirmation by the professor basically saying, "Yes, it's exactly what I just said, good observation."
Mhm.
That drove me insane. It was like, "Shut up. We know that you know it. Do well in the exam. The whole class don't need to know because 'cause I'm trying to leave."
I hear you. Okay, I like
That
that
was a
hand
little
motion.
aggressive, but
Very, very sock hoppish. Okay, Tyler, last question. What's a pet peeve that you had in a classroom setting?
Just being there.
oh,
Yeah, I did not like school.
Felt stuck.
Yeah. Um, wasn't even necessarily about like just like learning stuff. It was just like you've got to do this thing at this time. No,
Yeah,
you can't just read if you want to read. No, we're doing math for these 45 minutes from 9:15 to 10 o'clock. We got to do our math problems, and I just never liked it. It's a little too structured.
one of the happiest days of my life.
last day of school.
Last day of a math class. I didn't hate school, but like when I got done with my final exam for my final college math
Yes.
class, I was more excited about that than just graduation.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree because I hated math and I feel the same way.
I was like, thank goodness that's
Yes.
over.
Yeah.
Never have to
I
have
had
Amen.
to take math.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to take one math
I take one
class.
yeah, I had to take one class too.
No, I took like 4 math
In
classes.
college?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I
it's
only had
because
one.
2 of them I flunked, but
Oh.
I had to
Oh,
take
okay.
math like 4 times. It was awful. Adding letters makes no sense to
I
me.
hate math. It is the worst thing ever. I was awful at it. I had to take remedial math. So I was in math in college. I would spend my Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 4 in a math class. It sucked.
I had to take math in summer school.
12 to
12 to
4.
4. It was a hour and 15-minute class with a little break, and then if you didn't go to that, like, additional class afterwards, I could have gotten like, lost my Hope Scholarship. It's awful.
Man, I'm complaining about
Math,
just having
though,
to take the one math class my freshman year. I took the easiest class that
sa
was offered,
same, Tyler,
and I
same.
nearly failed it.
My freshman year of high school, I failed algebra, uh, mainly because I just thought it was dumb and kept making the argument that this is stupid. Why are we doing this? This is a waste of time. Didn't win that argument. I had to go to summer school, and I would have, I felt like I was going off to a prison camp or
I
something.
hated math.
But I was teaching the teacher in summer school.
Were you better at geometry?
A little bit because I could actually visualize more of it, but
I remember my sophomore year of high school, we closed out the year. In algebra 1, I heard, "Okay, EG, you'll be better when you get to geometry. Most people have, one way that they lean." I said, "Okay." After geometry, "Well, EG, you're going back to algebra 2, so you should get back on track." And I was like,
mm,
"I'm awful at both."
yeah, no, I was absolutely horrendous at all the algebra and all of that. So there we go. But um, it all worked out
Yeah.
because don't have to do too much math in my life. Don't have to go to the grocery store and add letters. Let's go now to one of our favorite things. It is a segment of physicality. This is where we have a little bit of a physical media haul that we want to share with you. I'm going to go first because mine is really not related to anything else.
I love a haul.
Um, but Tyler and I and Hunter Bussey, we took a little field trip
I heard about
after the
this.
meltdown. And I'm going to go ahead and shout them out. We went to Barnes and Noble because there are only a handful of places where you can actually like really go physical
Yeah.
media shopping any longer. Can't do it at Target. Can't do it at Best Buy.
Walmart, depending on your area, might be dangerous.
Walmart is like hit or miss. Like it may be dangerous, but like there's some places that are really well stocked and then some places where it just looks disheveled. And I saw both of that last weekend. But I didn't realize we had a Barnes and Noble so nearby. This was a news flash to me. I for some reason didn't know there was one right around the corner.
I love Barnes& Noble. It's a great place to support. They also have a Starbucks in there.
Well, they really have a great physical media collection.
Yeah.
Like, I was blown away with how much I enjoyed not only going through all their movies, but also through all their records. And I'm going to show what I hauled in. Now, if you saw our short yesterday, there's a little bit of a, you have a little bit of a heads up.
Cool.
A lot of people supported the short. We appreciate that. But this is the Goodfellas soundtrack
That's pretty cool.
on vinyl. Rags to Riches, performed by Tony Bennett. I love. Let's see here. Mannish Boy, performed by Muddy Waters. I love. Layla, performed by Derek and the Dominoes. That is probably the most.
It's probably the most well known on that soundtrack.
It's the most synonymous with the movie.
Yeah.
Is Layla and that piano exit. But this is a great soundtrack. And it was a little less than $25, which I thought was a really fair
Yeah.
amount there. And it looks super sharp.
Ooh, I like the blue.
There's a couple things I want to show. One thing I love about this, okay, I hate paper inserts in records because they
Yes.
scratch up the
Yes.
vinyl. And it's bad. Okay, this
I
is
like-
a paper insert with plastic layered inside, or sorry,
Oh,
cellophane or whatever
yeah.
inside.
Nice.
So it does not scratch the record, which I absolutely love, meaning I can keep it like this and not have to replace it with one of my own. And then it's got the blue,
I love that.
green, orange look. It looks like a Miami hurricane surrounded by a bunch of water. So really love that and highly recommend this. I listened to this twice last night while playing pool.
Oh, cool.
My winning streak has come to an end, EG.
Oh,
Last night I
no.
lost pool for the first time in 5 weeks.
Darn.
I know that you care deeply about
I
my pool
do.
game. For some reason we talk poker and you light up. I talk pool and you're like, oh my gosh, get a life, loser. Go play pickleball. So Goodfellas on vinyl.
It's really cool.
It's because, EG's very high class, very proper. She wants you to call it snooker.
That is correct.
Billiards.
All right, Tyler,
Billiards.
as excited as I am about my Goodfellas haul, I want to hear about your haul, and I want you to save what I would consider the best to be for last, because that'll lead us right into where we need to go to. But tell us what you got.
Tell us, sir.
Alrighty. So I was looking around the steelbook section for a while because I think it's a nice way to display it, and I'm just not even going to bother taking off the wrapping right now. I found this steelbook of Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.11, but you can just call it the fourth movie because they gave it a pretentious title for some reason. This is one of my favorite anime, and although this isn't my favorite movie in the series, I just needed to grab the steelbook because I do think it's an excellent movie still. And it's also got a bonus, is that a 46-minute movie that I actually have never seen before. I'd been meaning to watch the minus 46-hour special, but didn't get around to it.
And I really appreciate that ever since we've started doing these mystery boxes,
Yeah.
it's spurned so many people to now start in our circle, start to get back into collecting physical media.
You could call us influencers. We'll answer.
That is correct. And in 2025, it's actually a great time to go physical media hunting because you can find some really good deals.
And we're going to get ahead of the curve and then ultimately make you more money in 5 years, 3
Because
years.
These streaming services are only going to continue to go up in price.
Yeah.
There we go.
How's the wait?
Oh, no,
Tyler.
I am so sorry, Tim.
It's all good.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to fire you on your birthday. What kind of, I'm not a, what is it called? Ocean demon?
CBs.
Same thing. Anyway, it's all good.
Let's
Tyler
see.
fix it. Hey,
Yeah, that
that
works.
works. That's good.
So,
At least it was caught on camera like Wally died, and everyone got a chance to see there.
alrighty. So, I got that because I can't see something Evangelion and not buy it, even though I had to pass on the entire series yesterday because there are better versions of it available. And then the other thing I picked up today, or yesterday rather, is Silence of the Lambs.
Oh.
Not just any copy of Silence of the Lambs. This is the Criterion Collection Edition. And for anyone who does not know what this includes, because I didn't know, I was actually on the fence about buying this until Tim read out all of the features. So
You'll like this.
you get a new 4K digital restoration approved by the director of photography. So
Not yet.
Okay,
Wait for it.
waiting.
it's an official restoration. You gotta love that. You got audio commentary from 1994 featuring director Jonathan Demme, actors Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, screenwriter Ted Talley, and former FBI agent John Douglas.
So
That's cool.
You have a former FBI agent in this, Jonathan Demme, by the way. You have a former FBI agent in this that is providing you commentary while you're watching the movie. I can't think of a better way to watch Silence of the Lambs than that.
That has to be the best way to watch Silence of the Lambs, and you know my psychology degree holding self will appreciate that. And you've also got interviews with the director and Jodie Foster. You got 38 minutes of deleted scenes, or count them, 4 documentaries featuring hours of interviews with the cast and crew, storyboards, the trailer, a book featuring an introduction by Jodie Foster, an essay by critic Amy Taubin, pieces from 2000 and 2013 by author Thomas Harris on the origins of the character Hannibal Lecter, and a 1991 interview with Demme.
It's an incredible thing that Tyler is holding because
Also, this artwork is sick.
it is. All the Criterion Collection has their own unique artwork, and this team works so hard to capture the magic of these films.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of restoring classic cinema as well. I really love what Criterion has going on, and while their physical media is a little pricey,
It's worth it.
you can always look out for the deals. I think it's definitely worth it. And this is the first unboxing that we're doing here of the Criterion Collection item. It's got the slipcover.
Ooh, we got more. Oh, look at that.
Tell
Look at
us,
that.
Tyler, what's inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was showing off the back.
Yes,
The art.
I understood that. I was here watching it.
Oh, here's the booklet. Got oh,
Yeah.
got Jodie Foster right there. There's Sir Anthony Hopkins. Booga booga booga.
Yeah, terrifying in that role. Look, Silence of the Lambs was a phenomenon when it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first and only horror movie to win Best Picture. It won Best Director. It won Best Lead Actor, which is a little bit of a debate about that, whether or not Anthony Hopkins should have been considered for lead or supporting in that movie, because he's only in the movie for 24 minutes.
Oh, wow.
He does not have a whole lot of screen time in that.
He's only in the movie for 24 minutes, and he's not even sort of the main antagonist in the movie. So there's a question about that. It won Best Lead Actress. It won Best Screenplay. I want to say, did it win Best Cinematography? I want to say it did.
Let me check on that.
No, it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay. I'm gonna say that won those 5. I'm gonna say that would be my guess.
That's
The Silence of the Lambs became the 3rd film in history to win the Big 5.
Oh,
There we go.
It got Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Actress in a Leading Role, Best Director, and Best Writing Screenplay based on material previously produced or published. So I guess they changed the name of that, because now I think we just call that Best Adapted Screenplay.
That is correct.
cool.
So good stuff there. I can't wait to hear your review once you actually do the deep dive of going through everything that Criterion Collection version has to offer.
Yeah, I can't wait to go through this either. At first I thought like, oh, 4K copy, that's cool, but a little pricey. And then you see all the features and it makes you say, oh no, this is if you want to study a particular film and just get deep into it and all the nitty gritty and know what the director was thinking during this scene, what Anthony Hopkins was thinking during that scene. And, also hear commentary from the FBI on, the criminal profile,
Yeah.
psychological profile of all the characters.
It's a lot packed into that package for sure, and can't wait to hear your full review. And I feel pretty confident this is going to end up leading you down the path of collecting more Criterion Collection films in the future, which is what has spurned today's Meltdown Countdown, as I have tasked Tyler with coming up with at least the 5 movies from the Criterion Collection that he wants to add to his library at home. And Tyler, how'd you approach this list?
So I approached this list by going to my Criterion account because I did as you had suggested yesterday and signed up for a free account, which lets you put all the Criterion collections in your little wish list, and you get discounts and loyalty points and everything like that.
Yep.
Also, it probably should have been mentioned last segment, but I also picked up on Amazon last night a limited steelbook 4K extended edition of Nosferatu. It
Oh,
won't be here
wow.
for like another month and a half. But they've been selling out everywhere, and they've just restocked on Amazon. I had some gift cards laying around, so I jumped on it.
Make sure you bring that in the studio when you get
I,
it.
I
That
Wait,
thing looks sick.
it looks amazing.
Really does.
I'm looking at the list, and I think I know one that's gonna be on here, on your
You
list.
probably do.
Really?
There is one movie that has been talked about, but we're moving on, starting off with number 5, and that is John Woo's The Killer. Now, we talk a lot about Face Off and our appreciation for that movie being one
Absolutely.
of Nicolas Cage's best roles. The Killer is actually the movie that got John Woo his start. Now, this movie centers around a hitman going on one last job so he can get enough money to help this lady he knows to get corrective eye surgery because during one job she lost her vision due to his shooting. Um, I think it's a spectacular film. It really popularized the whole gun fu bullet hell genre. This movie basically walked so John Wick could run, gun, and do some sick reloads. And if you know how much I love John Wick, then you will definitely see why I would like to have the killer in my collection.
All right. I love it. Let's move on to number 4.
Number 4. So, Christmas, you bought me a poster.
I did.
Godzilla Minus One. It's one of my favorite movies of 2023. And I think the best way to get into the Godzilla franchise, and this is kind of cheating, is getting the entire Showa era collection of Godzilla films off of the Criterion collection.
So they number every single release so that way you know what a full collection actually looks like. And that is number 1000, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. It has 15 films. So you get Godzilla, Godzilla Raids Again, King Kong versus Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Invasion of Astro Monster, Ibira, Horror of the Deep, Son of Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Attack, Godzilla versus Hedorah, Godzilla versus Gigan, Godzilla versus Megalon, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Terror of Mechagodzilla. So you get all of those films in this sweet, sweet artwork. And the only thing that's missing is the Space Godzilla movie, but they're basing it off of the different eras of empires in Japan. Just because that's how they date things a lot of times is who's in charge.
I love it. Let's continue on, Tyler, down this list of Criterion Collection. And once again, for those that are maybe being introduced to Criterion Collection for the first time, I do recommend you check out some of the Criterion Closet Picks videos out there that'll help you understand further what this is about.
Those are
They
fantastic
are.
videos. I've gotten absolutely hooked on them.
Mm.
You just take an actor, a director, just famous movie person, and they go through a closet that's just filled with all of the Criterion collection, and they fill up a bag with what they want and talk about it.
You know, they created a mobile closet to where like fans can go in now, where like they drive it around on
Oh,
a truck.
you shouldn't have told me that, Tim.
Telling you. Where you
I'm
can actually go
I'm
in there.
glad you told me that so I can do that, but you shouldn't have told
I
me
think
that.
you can go in there and take photos and purchase things out of the actual closet, the mobile closet that looks just like the one that they shoot in. So,
All
anyway,
right, well, I've got
just letting you know.
some googling to do
Okay.
later on. Moving on to number 3. Uh, so this I'm not actually as crazy about the movie as all the stories behind it and the original author. So Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas makes this list because I love the writing of Hunter S. Thompson. And although this movie, I like a lot of it, but there are some parts where it's just kind of slow and a little weak in some points. But overall, I love the idea. I love gonzo journalism, just taking these events and putting yourself in the events to tell the audience how it is. And it's just a wild movie if you haven't seen it. It's Johnny Depp as a stand-in for the writer Hunter S. Thompson. He and Dr. Raoul go to they go to Las Vegas to cover a motorcycle race in the desert, and they get a bunch of substances to take with them, and it gets wild.
It's great art.
Great art on that. Ralph Steadman, I believe, did the original cover art. Fantastic artist. But I love this.
I watched a documentary at Sidewalk Film Festival about someone who had to pick up Hunter S. Thompson from the airport here in Birmingham and spend a weekend with them, and talked about how it was absolutely insane or
Yeah.
whatever. So that was a great documentary. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it was called My Weekend with Hunter S. Thompson or something like that.
I
But
mean, I think that's all you need to call that
all you need.
documentary. There's a story. I think Hunter S. Thompson might have put it out himself on like his typical diet and like schedule of partaking different substances, and you look at it and you just say, "Oh my gosh, this would put Keith Richards in a coma."
I am going to, just out of safety, put EG's microphone back on mute.
That's a good idea.
All right, continue on, Tyler.
All right, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Great movie. But now getting to a movie that is a true classic, one you can study. I think this movie is what Criterion Collection was meant for. And that is Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. I'm wearing the t-shirt today. Got the yeah. And I think this film is absolutely beautiful. Composition and movement are just mastered by Kurosawa, and it helps my student films watching this movie. So I think it's something that every cinephile should study because the samurai stories are all fantastic with the whole excuse me, with the whole conflict between duty and honor, morality, and I love it. I love the stories of the samurai sticking to their code up until the very end, and sticking to their codes. What got them there is just always a tragic ending. And Akira Kurosawa films everything beautifully. Some of the best cinematography you will ever see in a film.
And this is number 2 on your list?
This is number 2.
The way you talk about it, it sounds like it's a number 1 contender there for sure.
It just missed out. But the reason it did not make number 1 is because there's another movie that I will be buying very soon, one that I will be pre-ordering. I might not have it in my hands as soon as I
Wait, are we
have
thinking
Seven
the same one?
Samurai, but the Anora
Yeah, I knew
Criteria
it.
Collection
I knew it.
has been announced, and I will be pre-ordering it because you guys know I love this movie. You know I do.
Tim is not happy. I called this one. I looked at the little catalog and I saw Anora. Tyler's gonna buy it.
Because it starts with an A and it was the first one up
Yeah,
there.
it is.
No,
like
the numbers
first
are
thing
actually
up.
first. Tim.
Oh, I hate this movie. The art too. That's not even art. That's just photography, isn't it? That's actually Mikey Madison.
Yeah, that's
correct?
Mikey Madison.
Yeah, but that's like actually her, not like a art version of her. That's like a
Interesting.
photo of her.
Well, some would say she is art.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I hate Honora. I really do. It's going to win Best Picture, and that stinks. But it's better than Amelia Perez. I give it that. But I don't know. I didn't like the movie. I was really annoyed by it. Really frustrated with it. I don't know how many people have seen it that are in the chat right now. I know Saber's seen it. But I think you're in the majority. I think most people who see it like it. I am not one of those people, but I'm shocked this is number 1 on your list. Shocked.
You texted me last night and you said you're buying the Anora Criterion Collection,
I
aren't you?
thought it would be like 4th or 5th out of all the movies that the Criterion Collection holds in its arsenal. Honora is number 1 for you. That's a shock for me.
that I've seen so far.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, they've got a good bit of Kubrick films on there. None of my favorites though.
I was hoping Harry Potter would be on there.
They just
The Harry Potter is not on there. EG.
Not even
Sorry.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
they did just recently release a 4K steelbook of The Shining.
Oh.
It looks incredible, and it's
Ooh,
pretty
I'm
well
buying that.
priced.
Yeah.
I want to say it's about $30. But
That sounds like
it looks
it's
pretty good.
mine.
But anyway, all right, very strong there. Any honorable mentions before we close this thing down? I know that you once again are very passionate about the Criterion Collection. I didn't know if you had anything else that you wanted to throw in there.
Shoot, I'd like to buy The Seventh Seal from Ingmar Bergman. I think that's a really it goes back and forth between being like one of those underrated horror movies because it's so old, and also being one of those overrated horror movies because cinephiles freak out over it so
Sure.
much. But it is a great movie. Um, what else did I see the other day? Oh yeah, Menace to Society. I almost picked that up yesterday, actually. I really love that. You guys know I love my crime films, and Menace to Society is a classic one, right alongside like Boys in the Hood or Friday or anything like that.
I would love to have a copy of Broadcast News. I would love to. I don't. Pan's Labyrinth is way up there for me of something I want from Criterion.
Oh yeah, I had Night of the Living Dead on my list too. I forgot I had that on my list.
Here,
1968, George A. Romero.
here it's a great transfer too. So, look, if there's actually some stuff on YouTube about the way that they restore film that is just, it's really admirable what they've done here. And did you know Armageddon was a Criterion Collection release?
Yeah, I was scrolling through them and I was like, "Nah, I'm good. Don't really care to
Yeah,
see how Steven Tyler wrote. I don't want to miss a thing."
they had the rights to it, and I guess decided to put it out there. But it's a rare. That's a rare, very blockbustery Criterion Collection selection there.
See, I would
So
think Jaws would be more likely to make a Criterion collection than something like Armageddon.
yeah, John Saber has not seen Anora. I could have
Really?
sworn Saber saw Anora.
I could have sworn he had to.
Wrong about that.
Well,
Okay, that's gonna do it for us here on the Meltdown. Jam-packed episode, really
It was
fun,
awesome.
fun vibes. Really, we've gotten the bug of collecting as much as we can because we're really tired of being nickel and dimed by all these streaming services. And I hear about a movie like The Gorge, and it does nothing for me emotionally. Like, I don't want to spend any time with that. However, something like that Silence of the Lambs Criterion collection that you have,
Intriguing.
I could spend days with that thing and
oh
just
yeah.
geek out. So I cannot wait to hear you actually get to work on it and come back with some sort of like reaction. And I hope that's very soon because I'm jonesing for it for sure. But happy birthday, Tyler. I hope it's been a good one. We have much more to do tonight. We have our the monkey screening that we're going to go see that we will have an out of the theater reaction for. We do want to remind you that with so much going on in the sports world right now, so many different leagues still going around there. Maybe you're a hockey fanatic. Maybe you're really enjoying EB's love of hockey for one day only. If the U.S. doesn't win this game, then that love of hockey will die immediately.
It will.
Hockey's a dumb sport, and that'll be the take tomorrow.
Of course.
But you need to get in on the action at MyBookie at mybookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. That's mybookie.ag. Make sure you visit there. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first time deposit bonus. Going to have a lot of fun there at MyBookie. They also have that live casino there as well. If that's more of your flavor, visit them at mybookie.ag with that promo code NEXTROUND. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you again tonight, hopefully, with our out of the theater reaction of The Monkey, and then live again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little notification bell right here on The Meltdown.